MOZA are at it again. They're coming out with new stuff thick and fast. Now this is the AB6. You might remember my review of the AB9, which I was really happy with, and I have that on my rig for my everyday flying. This is the AB6, being 6. Force feedback, 6 Newton meters, whereas the AB9 had 9 Newton meters. Okay folks, hey ho, I hope you're all doing well. I just thought I'd pop in here and just give you a bit of information about my motivation for making hardware videos for MOZA. As you may or may not know, MOZA sent me an email a while ago saying, do you want to review our products because we like your videos? And I said, hell yeah, because I can't afford to buy all the hardware, folks. And that's why you saw very little hardware videos from me. But however, they have sent me the product, okay, to review, and they haven't given me any money, and they don't tell me what to say. In short, I can say whatever I like in my own subjective way. What I'm trying to say to you, this ain't QVC. QVC was a channel back in the day that tried to convince you to buy products, and they convinced people to buy stuff they didn't need, you see? So I don't want to be that person. So I just want to give you the factual information. Always look at loads of videos from, when I'm researching a gadget, I look at loads of videos and then get a picture from those. So don't just look at my videos, look at a whole plethora of videos. When you click an affiliate link, by the way, you don't pay any extra. The creator gets a little tip. I'm happy to put those on my channel. I'm only human. And just let me know what you think of the reviews in the comments, those of you who know me well. Geez, it's been almost 9 years now doing reviews and videos on YouTube. So look folks, thanks for your support, and let's get on with the video. Now I'm interested because this is a bit more stuff on this one. It's not just the Newton meters, it comes a bit more bits and pieces. Straight away out of the box, I can see there's some sort of controllers here, and there's RGB lights and stuff. So they've got some stuff on the base as well. So this is coming as a pack, okay? I haven't opened the box. We're going to do that now so you can see my reaction. That's 2 of them now they have. AB9 and the AB6. Oh, I did not know this. It comes with clamps. Okay, we're going to use these clamps on my desk here. I didn't know. That's very clever. You don't have to buy these separately now. So I can take this away. We don't need him unless you want a more firm. This is the flight base clamp. It has more stuff on it where you can lower it up and down. But we might use these. We'll see how we go, because I'm going to connect it to this table here on the laptop to start with for the testing. Very neatly packed, by the way. You can kind of throw that over a wall. I get my postman to throw it over the wall, and I never had anything break here from MOZA or anything. Interesting, this is a plate. I think we should use all this in this review. Let's use all, because do you know what? This also has 2 throttles. I'm going to find out what that's for. Very nice. They have thought of everything. I think that's through table clamps. That is a USB cable. It's the power cable, transformer, the power cable. This one comes with the stick as well. Slightly, yeah, it's made of plastic, but that's fine. But look here. You see that? I think that might be a light of some sort. Very, very nice. This looks really well built. It's fully metal on the casing. It's fully metal. Bit of plastic at the top, that's fine. But oh, that looks really cool. There's a little sticker on top here. That looks really quite cool. It's heavy enough. These RGB lights here light up, and they're buttons as well. Power for engines, so you don't need a throttle quadrant if you just want to get a really good look at. Sometimes, you know, but I was actually saying to someone the other day, they wanted to get a whole load of cheap stuff, like the cheapest joystick, the cheapest pedals, cheapest everything, because they couldn't afford one good thing. This is one good thing, because it has everything, and that can get you started right out of the box. You don't need any fancy throttle quadrants. So I'm quite happy about this. I must investigate further. Let's have a look. Just be mindful when you're putting this together with this plate here, because the 2 spaces up at the top are different than the ones here. So for example, when I want to attach this to this bit here, see the 4 screws there, you look here and they ain't lining up. They're not lining up at all. Whereas if you flip it over, pop it on here, it lines up perfectly. These up this way. So just make sure you have that the right way up. Also, you get plenty of screws and tools, and you get instructions and loads of stickers. Table mount, actually this position from where I'm sitting is very good. So that's the reason behind the table mount. And it's right beside me, not too high, not too low, and it fits perfectly. Also, it has a twisty grip. So you don't have to have rudders. So it has everything. It has the 2 throttles. We'll get to that soon. But that stand is an absolute brilliant idea. I love it. Of course, if you want to set this on top of your sim rig or whatever setup you have, it has the standard holes for all your sim rigs and all the standard fittings. So it's configurable to fit for anything. The power button is on the back. I'd rather to be in the front. The Dev 1, Dev 2, Dev 3 there are for MOZA peripherals. You just plug them into the back of the base and it works as a hub, which means you don't have to use loads of USB ports. So to configure this, don't forget to download the MOZA cockpit software and just check that it's updated. And we're going to power it up now and see how this is going to happen. A little button here, and you just flick it once to switch it on and hold it down for 3 seconds to switch it off. Force feedback, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like it's becoming the standard now. This is great news. I thought that was a little screen, it's 2 little lights there, but we'll have a look at the software. You can adjust all the colors of all the lights on both sides. And do you know what? We're gonna set this up with X-Plane, I think. And those are 2 throttles. We have 2 engines, very nice. It's got a twisty grip, so you don't need anything else. Do you know? A great little Christmas present for little Johnny, isn't it? It's 6 Newton meters, and I'm on a Cessna 172 on the ground. And it feels pretty good on the hand. A tiny bit of cogging, but that doesn't bother me. I'm gonna unpause it, you probably can't see. So I've unpaused X-Plane, okay? And when I switched it on as standard, it moves around quite significantly. Too much, I felt, for the real thing. That's just about perfect there now. Because the prop is running, and you'll get a little bit force feedback. Now I know the Cessna 172 doesn't, it has a yoke, doesn't have a joystick, but just to show you what the MOZA is capable of, right? The AB6. So I've changed the lights here to blue. You can change the lights to millions of colors on both sides here. 2 throttles, as I said, and all the buttons and pinky switches you'll need. But one thing that I always try is the elevator droop. Now the elevator, if I can get this in the camera here, the elevator, I'll zoom right in here. Hopefully you can see that now. When you're on the asphalt waiting to go, it just pulls down. The whole control column will be pulled forward, and that's what I'm looking for. These little details that I'd know about, and that's very realistic. But that's what I'm testing for. And has a nice, you know, it comes right back where it should. So it's doing what it should, what it would do like in a real airplane. Now I'm going to add power here. I'm using these little levers here. So I'm going to add power, and this shaking should kind of slow down. I know I've showed you this in the AB9, but it does now. You can't see it move, but it does have vibration. Off of the brakes. And I love this, has a twisty grip. So this is all you'll need. Oh, the elevator comes, I can feel the actual stick is coming back because the elevator, that took me off guard. That is brilliant. Now, as I'm taking off while I'm here, right, I'm going to trim it. It's going to stay a couple of 100 feet above the ground. I have to explain to you what I'm feeling with the stick as best I can, okay? Because you can't feel what I'm feeling. Now, I'm trimming nose up, right? And now with the update, it's been updated actually since right after I made my last video on the MOZA, right after they updated it, typical. So as I trim back, can you see here? The stick does start to come back. It's very slow and subtle, but it is coming back. So the forces is what I'm saying with the MOZA are very, very realistic. Now, even as I get faster, it gets harder, slight more resistance for me. You see, I've got it trimmed all the way nose up there. I have to trim it down. I have to push forward and trim down and get it sorted out. And that's it. That's really, really good. So far, I'm really impressed. And for the price of a force feedback, I don't know if there's another force feedback joystick like this out at the moment with this price range, okay? But it seems solid. By the way, the stand here, I just put it up as a normal desk clamp for you. It all comes in one box with this particular setup, which is really very clever. So that's why I want to show you with this. It's quite stable. It is quite stable, and it is absolutely brilliant. Also the software, there are tons of settings in the software. It's not overly hard, but it's just a lot to it. But it works right out of the box. That's what I'm saying. The MOZA, okay, it has great high fidelity in the joystick. So it's very sensitive. Now you can have it very sensitive or not sensitive at all. You can have it set up any which way you want. But my point being, I suppose, is if you were to think, you know, of something like this here, this is an older joystick here. This is the Cyborg version 1, V1. And the problem with these older joysticks, for example, in Johnny's defense, little Johnny's defense, you're saying, why don't you get one of these? It's got the throttle on it, doesn't it? We're going to crash now. Brilliant. It's got the throttle on it, and it's got the joystick pit, and it's got the twisty grip. It has all the stuff. What do you want this one for? This is more expensive than the one for 30 quid. No, you're wrong entirely. Because look, first of all, this has got a big spring here. You see the big spring here, right? No aircraft control column has a spring in it. It doesn't center. This is just for games, right? You can remove the spring in this entirely, by the way, or you have the spring if you want. But the problem is the fidelity. This is no fidelity, because if I pull back, look, I'm putting pressure, and so this kind of thing is the stickiness. It's got a ball joint in it, and it's sticky and very difficult to control, okay? Yes, it has a throttle and the buttons and all that kind of stuff, but it's so inferior, it's not funny. Whereas this is like light years ahead. And if you're little Johnny now, you don't have to do what we had to do back in the day. This is absolutely supreme. It really is very supreme. So that's one thing I just wanted to point out. The fidelity of the MOZA is very, very high. It's very, very sensitive if you want it set up to be sensitive. And also, an Airbus controller or an F-16, they have pressure. So it's the pressure you put on the stick rather than the stick physically moving, I believe. You can have it set up like that. You can have it set up like an Airbus. You can have it set up any type of aircraft you want. You can have a spring, you can have no spring, you can have a high amount of torque on the stick itself, etc., etc. I'll get to that soon. But I just wanted to get that nailed down. The high fidelity of the MOZA is very, very high and very, very accurate. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the MOZA AB6 to my rig and look at stall buffet and other things. But first, I want to have a look at read their spec sheet and tell you if I agree or disagree. So the first one is they say the MOZA AB6 features a durable metal construction and delivers 6 Newton meters of consistent and precise force feedback. I agree with that. MOZA cockpit software allows users to fine-tune parameters such as centering force, damping, and friction, accurately simulating in-flight vibrations and aerodynamic responses for a truly immersive flight experience. I can absolutely and categorically agree with that. I'm very impressed with it as a real-life pilot. The front panel includes 8 physical buttons for quick access to in-sim commands. Each button features fully customizable RGB backlighting with 16.7 million color options. Yes, absolutely. Dual throttle sliders. The base features 2 analog sliders that support various functions including throttle and or air brake, as well as camera and view adjustments. So yeah, they're really, really handy because you don't have to buy a throttle quadrant. It all works as one piece. And also, I love the twisty grip, so you don't need rudder pedals straight out of the box. It all just works. They go on to say that the realistic torque feedback, delivering a constant of 6 Newton meters of torque, the system provides detailed and highly responsive force feedback, accurately simulating aircraft behavior and flight dynamics. I absolutely agree with that, and more actually, as we'll see coming up. High performance outrunner motor. It's equipped with a high torque outrunner motor. The AB6 force feedback base delivers smooth, responsive control with excellent stability, ideal for precise aircraft handling in demanding flight simulators. I absolutely agree with that. The next bit for techies is it's got a 15-bit magnetic encoder, which gives you high resolution magnetic encoding, ensuring ultra precise low latency input tracking. I agree with that. Full metal construction. The base itself is full metal construction. It's crafted from aluminium alloy and high strength steel. The force feedback base offers a premium tactile feel, outstanding structural rigidity and long-lasting durability. Yeah, it's made of full metal. Compatibility with leading flight simulator games. Effectively what they're going on to say here is that the system seamlessly integrates with leading flight simulator titles like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, all the versions of X-Plane, DCS World, IL-2, War Thunder and more. Just keep in mind though folks that the force feedback you receive is only as good as the telemetry you receive from the flight simulator. So all those ones I've just mentioned there, it's quite good. Like I find DCS World
but is better than Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, for example. So just keep that in mind. They also go on to say advanced software customization. The MOZA cockpit software provides extensive customization options. I agree with that entirely. This includes user-defined lighting telemetry, brightness and logic, native LED behavior, and a wide range of force feedback presets specifically tailored to various flight scenarios. So in other words, what I'm thinking here is that if I'm a real pilot and I want that stick to behave exactly as it does in my, let's say I'm an aircraft owner in my airplane, I can have it work just like in the real thing, in the real airplane. So the software is another day's work. I'll do another video on how to do the software, but it's fairly self-explanatory. So pretty much most of those points I agree with. The only thing I don't like is the button is in the back and there's no light for the button to switch the base on or off. And I can't think of anything else I don't like. What do I not like about it? I suppose you could go on about the plastic for the joystick part, but then this is the price point you're getting into, and the plastic never bothered me personally. I don't know about you. Okay, folks, I've been about 2 weeks testing this, maybe 3 actually, on and off. I've got this early before everybody else did, just to test it and play with it and see what's happening. I couldn't find anything wrong with anything. Now, MOZA do update the software. When it first came out with the AB9, there were some things missing, that like the elevator droop I showed you earlier on and things like that, but they've updated it many times since, which is great, because they do update it, but I don't know if there's any updates to come. There might be a few little things, but I couldn't find any at the moment. Just a little thing about the MOZA software, the cockpit software. It is very, the basic settings, just fiddle around with those. You don't want to get yourself into a corner. Like I got myself into a corner where I was fiddling with everything because I haven't tested the hell out of it. And I had the spring down here somewhere. And what happens is, because the spring, see, it's trying to, it oscillates. So if you find that problem, just make sure you have the spring at 50%. And what I have it here is at 50, I had it at 60%, right? Now it won't oscillate, look. It's like a real airplane. It kind of bops back, and it will do that. And that's really realistic, the way the whole, you can't see the sticks in the simulator there. But that's very, if I jolt the stick like that when it's cruising, it'll gently oscillate back. So that's just me. That was purely me thing. Play with the settings. Also, you got all the lights here for all the colors, so I can change the colors to, let's say, red, etc. Also, you have more expert settings in here, a whole load of settings, telemetry, and you see here over this side, it's just for everything. It's got settings for everything, but generally you don't have to mess with the settings initially. But one thing I want to show you very quickly, however, is it's on autopilot there now, and it will move depending on your simulator. What you've got, the stick will move with the autopilot if you want to. That's another thing they've done. What I want to show you is the stall. Right, I'm taking back the power. I'm going to turn off the autopilot here. Is it off? Yes, it is. If the autopilot was on there, and when you move the stick to a certain degree, the autopilot will automatically switch off, and that's exactly like a real airplane. Now, what I'm feeling now with the stick, I'll use my other hand. What I'm feeling with the stick is the rumble of the engine RPMs getting lower, and the engine will bob about. And I'm feeling that. That's the stall warner there. And what's going to happen is now the stick is increasing in its vibration. And it's now I know I'm just, see, I got a stall there. There we go. So I get loads. You see that? I get loads of warnings. See that? With the stick there? I get loads of warnings. So to come out of the stall, forward pressure, and pull out of the dive. And there we go. So that is really, that's the thing that I'm really looking for when I'm testing this stuff. To match it to my real world flying. Let's try a stall in the turn with full power. So there's a stall warner. I'm bringing the note. I feel it now. I'm right on the edge of the stall, and this is the beauty. Off we go. Right? So the beauty about these force feedback joysticks is that when you're dogfighting in DCS world, as you've probably seen my videos, I'm going to make more on that, I can outturn the other player because I know I'm just about to stall. Whereas if you don't have a force feedback joystick, the airplane just tips over and you get no warning whatsoever. So that's why I love force feedback, and that's why I'm so excited about it. What are the problems with this? Well, let's just summarize here. Let's just summarize. First of all, it comes with everything. So if you're getting this for little Johnny for Christmas, great Christmas present, by the way. I know, I'm so sorry I said the C word. Forgive me. It's better you hear it from me than someone else, because you'll be hearing it soon. But if you buy this for a present for little Johnny, it's got everything. So you don't need rudder pedals because you've got the twisty grip. You don't need throttles. It all comes in one unit, and it comes with a stand. So that's a positive. Have a look at my AB9 video. The software is exactly the same for the AB9 in this, okay, except for the lights perhaps. But it's the exact same. So you're getting the exact same ecosystem. The only difference is this is 6 Newton meters, so you might have a less of a pull force. But I find I toned down my AB9. Now I can tone it up depending on what airplane I'm flying. If I want that tough, I've got to really pull back, you know. But there really are great joysticks, the AB9 and the AB6. But the beauty about this one is it's a lot cheaper in that bundle, folks. It's a lot cheaper, and you get much more with this one. So this is going to be a big seller, and I can't find a force feedback joystick on sale now that's cheaper than this. So I'm very pleased is what I'm saying. And I can confidently say that you're not going to get buyer's remorse. It's a fabulous package. And they say it's kind of beginner level. I think it's better than that. Right, I think it's better than that. So you'll have great fun with this. It also, by the way, I didn't mention, it flies helicopters as well. You can set it up to operate like a helicopter collective. So there's no spring at all. The stick just stays where it is. And as I said before, you can use it for F-16s because they're just pressure. So you put the spring up to maybe 100, or the settings there for that as well. You don't have to do any settings. And that's it, folks. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you already have the AB9, what you think of it in the comments. Let me know when you get the AB6, if you do get it, what you think in the comments, so other people can then read the comments and see and make up their mind. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the cheapest and best force feedback joystick for flight sim that I can find. The only caveat about this whole AB6 is it's not the AB9. So folks, that's it just for now, but I will be coming back to the AB6 and the AB9 to tell you how I've been getting on. I want to do some MOZA cockpit videos with regards to their brilliant software. You don't have to do much configuration at all, actually. You just plug it in. It's just plugs and play, but you can if you want to. I want to make some racing videos as well as the flight simulator videos coming up again soon. And I want to learn the racecraft in esports. That'll be a bit of fun, and maybe we'll get some streams going at some point. Look, folks, thanks a million for watching to the end. Pop the old like button there, and thank you very much, and I'll see you very, very soon.